With around 1 day left of the Bitcoin week, BTC price makes a throwback to an area that could define the coming weeks for Bitcoin. What is up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Thank you for coming by. This is a Bitcoin video, a very brief, simple, to the point Bitcoin technical analysis. Let's jump into it. Everybody, you know this. This is data tracking. This is not financial advice. We're not here to predict. We're here to prepare and to be careful while we're doing so. And this has happened. And this is probably going to be a pretty brief update, but it's, I think, a very powerful update. And it says a lot about Bitcoin and where it is going into this new week that's getting ready to start tomorrow, and also says a lot about technical analysis. So before we dig in, I want to take a very quick look at this clip from March 27th. That's something I want to anticipate is a throwback and to see if there's support at the upper trend line for maybe a more conservative bullish confirmation if we get the bounce off of that area. So there we go. This was March 27th, not long ago at all. And look how this has played out. We got the throwback that we were looking for in terms of Bitcoin. And the reason why I'm showing this is because as we track this, and we've been tracking Bitcoin and altcoins, Cardano, for years, right? Just tracking crypto charts for years. And every time we get these consistencies in terms of technical analysis, I am absolutely going to replay it for context. I think it's just a huge reminder for us that technical analysis works, and I think it's a good teaching tool for everybody new that's getting into crypto and that's trying to read the charts and trying to see how this all works. Well, that's how it works. This was what, 5 days or so ago, and now look what played out. The throwback played out, and this is based off of data that is readily available. This is the patternsite.com. This is where I've learned so much of the technical analysis I utilize. This data from Balkowski is based on symmetrical triangle pullbacks, throwback rates. So you see here, throwback rate 62% of the time. It's not a guarantee, but oftentimes, especially it seems in crypto, that we get the move, the breakout of the triangle, and a throwback to test the trend line. It doesn't mean we're out of the woods yet. You can even see on the daily candle, this current daily candle is, not looking the most bullish. We have the 200-day moving average resistance that Bitcoin hit already. It's still resistance for Bitcoin, that 200-day moving average around $48,300. And so it's kind of still in this vicinity of seeing if there can be support. But as we kind of zoom out here, we can start seeing, all right, if Bitcoin makes that continued move to the upside above the 200-day moving average, this could be the longer-term bullish reversal that many people are waiting for, right? And so we can take that data and we can understand, all right, we're looking for support here. We know there's downside if support fails, right? If this is just a lower high and we continue down and put in another lower high and lower high, if this consolidation continues to downside, we do have this Fibonacci support, which is the swing low of the triangle to swing high at the 200-day moving average. And we have the support area for Bitcoin where we could still see a longer term bullish reversal. It'll just take a little bit more patience. The 618 right around 41,600 to the 786 right around 39,800, confluent with the lower trend line of the triangle. So a throwback to the apex of the triangle, also just 100% in play and normal for Bitcoin as we watch how this plays out. Now, this is on the daily chart, but if we look at the weekly chart, here's how things are setting up, also telling the story of potential reversal here. It's a red weekly candle, yes. However, it's not the ugliest red weekly candle. Right now, the weekly candle trading above the 50-week moving average, right around 45,700, and the 20-week moving average, right around 44,500. Now, Bitcoin trading above those areas. How will the weekly candle close? I think this is why the next day, 1 day, 8 hours, as I do this video, is very important to see how this closes. To get a close above these areas would be extremely beneficial for Bitcoin bulls and for just that longer term macro reversal as we try and gauge whether or not that's going to happen. The other thing on this weekly chart is this. We can see Bitcoin has gotten the MACD cross, the MACD line in blue, crossing that signal line, the histogram in green, that first green candle since it was on its way down in November 2021. So a lot has happened, right? A lot of consolidation has happened, and we could be entering a potential environment where we're kind of seeing momentum now to the upside on this MACD. So that could be evidence of a coming bull move for Bitcoin on the macro charts. Time will tell. I wanted to do an update video because I think as we're kind of breaking down and trying to see how's Bitcoin going to interact with these weekly moving averages. And by the way, it's important how Bitcoin interacts with those moving averages because we know data in bear markets, right? We know the data. Bitcoin sees resistance at these areas, right? Look at this. Resistance for these lower high moves to bear market lows. So you can just see resistance at the 50-week moving average, not staying above the 20-week moving average. So now we're in this environment and it's very, very close to, as like right now as I do this video, very, very close as to how close Bitcoin is to these moving averages. So some extension and separation from those moving averages would be nice to the upside, but at the very least, closing a candle above these moving averages in the next 1 day, 8 hours would be important. And then again, we continue to monitor on the shorter term on this daily chart. Well, how does Bitcoin interact with this upper trend line of this symmetrical triangle? And then, I mean, we can even change this to a 6-hour chart. A really short-term story that we'd want to see play out is simply higher highs and higher lows continuing right here. So here's that previous swing low at the triangle upper trend line. Right now, Bitcoin is kind of sideways. So another higher low, even in the $45,000 vicinity, would be fine, right? So let's monitor that. Let's see what happens. But it's in a very, very small, tight range in terms of what Bitcoin has to the downside to test that upper trend line. Right now, that range around 4 to 5%. And you can see Bitcoin daily candle it's just kind of second guessing itself as I do this video. So let's track it. Let's see. I want to do an update. I think it's important if you're watching altcoins. Obviously, I cover a lot of Cardano on this channel. I think what Bitcoin does is extremely important to Cardano and other altcoins, right? So let's track Bitcoin. Let's see what it does, how it interacts with all of these areas we've watched. It's a patience. It's a waiting game. It's a mental game. Be prepared. Nobody knows what's going to happen next, but we know the areas to watch out for. And so that is what we will do. Hit the subscribe and like. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.